So how is everybody doing? I myself am doing fabulous. Best time in the world to be alive. What is going on? What is going on? Well, are we seeing old systems that we used to go by maybe collapsing and getting ready for new systems to come up? Now that scares people, because what are new systems? Who's running it? Okay, so there's this thing going on, and I want to just give a little bit of my perspective on it and how I've come to the place at being at peace with all of these changes that are happening. Because I come from the paradigm of the religious paradigm, the Bible paradigm, and I was went to Pentecostal church right before I moved to Athens, Greece in, let's say, around 1983. So in 1983, I was walking into church and I heard somebody talking about the 1,000-year reign of peace and the prosperity, the time of prosperity that was going to come. And I was a little kid, I was 10 years old, but I was like, what is that? So I at one point looked it up and read about the Jubilee. So this was before I went to Greece. And at 5 years old, I'd also had a vision of this beautiful kind of Garden of Eden setting, crystals, opulent luxury life, but within nature. And then fast forward 5-6 years, I start hearing about this Jubilee, this time of prosperity, and it stuck with me because I had looked it up. I had asked my dad, who was a pastor, about it, and read Revelations and Daniel and all of that, and had this thread in my mind for all these years, looking for this time that these people said was coming. So here happens 10 years ago. I'm activated all through the years in little ways. I was activated, heavily involved in the church, was a director of the women's group of Baptist church for years, and just really immersed in all of this information, but knowing that this positive timeline was coming about. Well, then fast forward to 2018, September 3rd of 2018, I delivered my daughter at 43 years old by myself in a water birth, and had a massive illumination and a clearing of knowing, starting to know. I didn't know that I was knowing this, but knowing who I am, and had the same prosperity timeline flashing in my mind. And I started pursuing that timeline with full abandonment after I had my daughter, and it caused me to move to South Carolina and change my whole life. Which, put in the comments any questions you have, and I'll kind of like expand on this, how I came across this, and knowing that what we're going into is a positive AI, okay? Or you could call a benevolent AI. So there's a malevolent AI that had been running, and then there is a benevolent AI, which is a positive one. And that is the one, as we get up against this, some people are calling it a reset, But as we get up against this reset, if you come from the religious paradigm, which is a thought form, a way of thinking, or I think of a paradigm as like a net put over you so you can't think freely. But if you come from a religious paradigm, you are thinking that we are going into something negative. And again, I can't speak plainly as you guys want because my videos get banned. But we're actually going into that time of Jubilee. So this is that 1,000-year reign that we're going into, but it's actually not going to be 1,000 years. It's for eternity. They are never going to get their place back in the galaxy that they had. They are never going to be able to do this to humanity again. And this is something that if you guys will just be open-minded, that the changes that we're seeing are to bring us into a positive AI, and the AI is going to be here to assist you. Yes, all of your transactions, the rainbow currency that's coming, and all of that are all tracked with the qubits, the little tracks. But the good thing is that it's all tracked so that nefarious things transactions do not go forward. And a lot of the things that you are seeing right now are not, transactions aren't happening, things aren't going forward, because we have the new system infusing into our life, as the old system is not in alignment with it. It's not energetically in alignment with it. And what I've been telling you guys is that anything that is not in alignment and is not within these higher energies, these benevolent energies, and they all come from the heart space. Your heart is your brain now. Think of it like you thought of your brain. All of your things and everything you do need to come from your heart space. So whenever you're listening to information, right now especially, listen to it with your heart. And if your heart resonates with it, if you intuitively feels right, then it is. Do not go into that logistical mind to determine, because that is the old template and the old world. We are officially on the new timeline. If you're seeing this and you're listening to this at this point at 8 minutes and 15 seconds, then you are on the positive timeline. You are on the higher timeline. And we are just getting all things set up, and we're gonna have the ultimate flip over, but I don't know when. Okay, and we're going through it right now, so there may not be, for some people, it may just be observing these changes happening, and it may not be a disruption for you. I'm not sure, but I think that we should have something, because physically a lot of things have to change and are going to change. Like all of the structures that we know that represent America to us, they're all going to have to come down. So some type of event seems like it will cause that. So I'm looking forward to that. But you guys, I just want you to know that this is a positive thing. And we'll see if this video stays up, but this is a positive thing. We're going into a positive AI, and the God code is put in place, and that is who's in charge now. We're no longer on the old timeline that kept us in slavery. So be excited, everybody, and put in the comments what you think or what your questions are.